Isn't it strange how the harder you look for something, the further away it seems to get? Chasing after your shadow or trying to grab flowing water comes to mind. The more tightly you try to hold it, the quicker it slips away. Over the years, I've watched many people rushing everywhere, endlessly hunting for success, happiness, love, or even meaning. But have we ever stopped for a second to ask, what is it we're actually searching for? What is this mysterious thing that we believe will finally make us whole? The thing that will make us feel like we finally made it. It's pretty odd when you think about it. People act like they're missing something important. No tree gets up in the morning wishing it was a better tree. Clouds don't drift across the sky worrying about being fluffier or heavy. But we humans are always measuring the gap between what we are right now and what we imagine we should be. Now here's a wild idea. What if there's actually nothing missing at all? What if this whole restless quest we're on is completely misunderstood? I remember a Zen story about a fish swimming wildly through the ocean, asking every creature it meets, "Hey, where's this water I keep hearing about?" The funny part is the fish is surrounded by water and just can't see it because it's everywhere. Maybe we're just like that. What if the thing we seek isn't hidden elsewhere in some far-off future or high-up level, but is all around us right now, only we weren't taught to recognize it? Here's a super simple but deep first question. Before we race ahead looking for answers, shouldn't we at least figure out what we're really asking about? See, there's a surprising twist to our usual searching that doesn't get much attention. When you look for something, you're basically saying it's not here. You keep telling yourself that it's missing. Think about it. The more you look for happiness, the more you're confirming to yourself that you're not happy. The harder you work for peace, the more you convince yourself you aren't peaceful yet. It's like trying to make a pond still by splashing it non-stop. That's the cosmic trick of chasing after spiritual things. You can't find what was never gone, can't become what you already are. Here's something to consider. When you're truly caught up in something, playing music, dancing, spending time with someone you love, watching the sunset, suddenly there's no search, no gap, no distance between you and the moment you're in. You feel most alive and complete in those times. But as soon as you start thinking, I need to keep this feeling forever, it vanishes, as if slipping away like mist. Buddha said something pretty amazing about this. He noticed how always wanting something else is the main reason people feel unhappy. It's not because wanting is bad, but because it's built on a misunderstanding. We believe peace and happiness are things we must find or buy, but they're actually already here if we stop looking for them so hard. So what if, just imagine, what if the way to finally find what you're seeking is to simply stop searching? Could the hunt itself be the only real barrier? We often think life works like a journey, always heading somewhere special, like climbing a mountain to reach some magical goal, maybe heaven, wisdom, wealth, or a great retirement. But think about it. What if there is actually no mountaintop, no finish line waiting for you? What if the whole story of arriving has been one amazing bluff? We've inherited a strange idea about life, as if everything we do is just a step towards something else. Learn for grades, work for money, exercise for health, meditate for enlightenment. Always this feeling that the real good stuff is still somewhere else, waiting at the end of all the work. But look around at nature. Does a bird sing just to achieve something? Is a wave in the ocean trying its best to get to the shore? Not at all. Singing and waving are just what they do. They're already complete, right where they are. Here's a great story from a Zen master. A student asked him, "What's the meaning of life?" The master answered, "Getting into a boat and sailing down the river. The point isn't crossing to the other side, enjoying the ride." Don't take this as if goals and dreams are worthless. They can make life fun and give direction. But what you lose is the awesome journey itself if you spend all your time obsessed with where you're going, like people so busy snapping pictures for social media they don't see the places they've been. What if living isn't really about reaching somewhere, but about being fully here for the journey itself? What if you're already exactly where you're supposed to be? Now here's the funny part. What if everything you've ever looked for, peace, joy, love, security, has been inside you the whole time? Sounds like a cheesy greeting card, right? But sometimes the simplest sayings hide the biggest truths. Think about it. When you were born, did anybody have to teach you how to exist? Did you need lessons in being alive? Not at all. You just were. You didn't have to look for life or work for it. It was your most basic nature. But along the way, we started believing we need to become something else, fix ourselves, change ourselves. Like the universe somehow made a mistake with us, and now we have to spend our whole lives fixing it. There's a story about a beggar who sat by the road on an old box for 30 years, begging for coins. One day a stranger asked, "What's inside your box?" The beggar shrugged. "Nothing, just an old box. I've always sat on it." The stranger encouraged him to look inside. Reluctantly, the beggar opened the box and discovered it was full of gold. That's just like us. We're sitting on a treasure every day, yet look to others for scraps of approval and happiness. We are already what we're trying so hard to become. We already have what we're so desperate to find. That's the universe's joke. The search ends not when you find something new, but when you finally notice what's been here all along. Let's now talk about purpose. Almost everyone worries about it, asking, what's my purpose? Why am I here? What should I do? These questions can freeze you up, right? But maybe we've been asking the wrong thing from the start. Asking about purpose assumes life is useful only if it serves something bigger. But let me ask, what's the point of a song? Is it to finish the last note? What's the reason for dancing? Is it about landing at some spot on the floor? Of course not. The song and dance are valuable just as they are, not tools to reach another place. Life might not be a problem to solve or a mountain to climb, but a mystery for us to experience. Maybe you don't have some mission, maybe you are the mission. When you quit chasing after purpose, it feels freeing. Once you think your happiness depends on the right purpose, you're always stuck in a future that never shows up, like a donkey always chasing a carrot dangled just out of reach. But what if, instead of asking, what should I do with my life, you asked, what is life doing with me now? Instead of always trying to force your ideas on life, what if you opened up to what life is showing you right now? Maybe then you'll discover you've been paddling upstream, getting tired while the current just wants to take you home. Our society is deeply hooked on being better, richer, thinner, smarter, more productive. The self-help world keeps growing on this feeling that you're not enough, but just one more technique will get you there. What if that whole idea is mistaken? What if there's really nowhere else to go? What if you're already whole just as you are? T.T. Suzuki once said, "You're trying too hard to make yourself into something. You're already a masterpiece. You cannot be improved upon. You just need to know it, to realize it." That's the real difference between being and becoming. Becoming is always busy, always wanting more, always feeling a bit unsatisfied. Being is simply present, totally accepting what is, without judging, without needing to change it. Just look at a rose. It doesn't try to be a better rose. It never thinks, today I must get more beautiful. It just opens as itself, fully real. And yet we humans keep telling ourselves that we alone in all the world are not enough. What a strange kind of pride, to believe the whole universe is perfect except for you. The art of being isn't about giving up or settling. It's about living from a sense of wholeness instead of lack. About showing up fully in each moment, not always reaching for the next. Have you ever noticed that the more desperately you try to hold on to something, the more it slips through your fingers? Like trying to grasp water. The tighter you squeeze, the less you have. That's not a coincidence, you see. That's the universe trying to tell you something rather important. Have you ever noticed how nature never seems worried? Mountains don't fuss about being tall enough. Rivers don't worry about their path. The oak tree doesn't wish it was covered in needles like the pine. Nature just is, without needing an excuse. without trying to please anyone. Meaning isn't something hidden in the world that we have to dig up. It's something we create by how we connect with life. It's not a treasure buried somewhere, but more like a song that comes alive when we play it. And here's something really amazing: when you stop desperately searching for meaning, life starts to feel meaningful all by itself. When you stop demanding that life explain itself to you, you can finally hear what it's been saying all along. There's a story about a Western philosopher who visited a Zen master. The philosopher kept asking question after question about the meaning of life, reality, and meditation. After a while, the Zen master invited him for tea. As he poured, he kept filling the cup even after it was full, letting tea spill everywhere. The philosopher shouted, "Stop, the cup is full, no more will fit." The Zen master replied, "Like this cup, your mind is full of your own ideas and opinions. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? Nature doesn't go looking for meaning because it's already full of life, full of being, full of its own nature. Maybe our problem isn't that we don't have meaning, but that we're so packed with ideas about what meaning should look like that we can't see it when it's right in front of us. What if you treated life not as a puzzle to solve, but as a gift to enjoy?" Now here's a question that's really interesting. When did you first start believing you needed to find something to be complete? When did you first feel like something was missing? Because you weren't born with that feeling. Watch a baby for a while. Babies don't feel incomplete or not good enough. They don't worry about finding their purpose or reaching their potential. They just exist fully present, fully alive, needing no reason to be. So when did that change? When did you start thinking you weren't enough as you are? Was it in school, when you were compared to others and felt like you didn't measure up? Was it from parents who wanted you to be your best? Was it from religious lessons about sin and being saved, or from ads that make money off your feeling of not being good enough? This belief that you're missing something isn't natural. It's something you learned. It's a story you were told and then started telling yourself. And like any story, it can be questioned. It can be replaced with a truer story. What would happen if you stopped believing you needed to find something? What if you tried out the idea that you're already whole, already complete, missing nothing? This doesn't mean all your problems will vanish, or that life will always be easy. It's actually something much deeper. Your problems and your happiness are both part of the same wholeness. Nothing needs to be fixed, because nothing is broken. Could it really be that simple? Could the search end, not by finding something, but by realizing there was never anything missing? There's something really freeing about giving up the search. It's like taking off a heavy backpack you've been carrying up a mountain, only to realize the weight was the only thing making the climb hard. When you stop looking for happiness in the next moment, this moment suddenly feels like enough. When you stop trying to become someone else, you finally have space to see who you already are. When you stop treating life as just a way to get somewhere, you can finally enjoy it for what it is. This is what Zen masters mean when they say ordinary mind is the way. It's not some special state you reach after years of meditation. The simple, everyday awareness you have when you're not busy searching for something else. Over the years, I've met many people on spiritual journeys who turn seeking into a kind of habit. They go from teacher to teacher, from one method to another, always sure the next workshop or retreat will finally give them the enlightenment they want. But the search itself becomes a way to avoid the very thing they say they want, the simple truth of who they are right now. There's a story about a man who spent years traveling to faraway places, looking for a rare jewel, only to come home and find it in his own backyard. The jewel was there all along, but he was so focused on distant places that he missed what was right in front of him. The big surprise is that when you stop searching, you don't end up with nothing. You end up with everything. Because when you stop trying to grab the universe in your hand, you realize your hand is already part of the universe. You're not separate from what you're looking for. You are what you're looking for. And when you see that, life feels easier, more natural, in a way that was impossible when you were always trying to be something else. So what actually happens when you stop looking somewhere else? What shows up when you're not searching? First, there's a kind of stillness. Not the frozen kind, but a lively stillness, like a pond so calm it perfectly reflects the moon and stars. In this stillness, you start to notice things you were too busy to see before. The patterns in a leaf, the different sounds of rain, the rise and fall of your own breath. The world doesn't change. You just become more open to it as it is. Then there's a strange feeling of timelessness. When you're not always leaning into the future, time stops being something to fight or manage. It just becomes the space where life happens, not rushed or wasted. And maybe most surprising, you feel deeply connected when you stop building walls around your separate self by always searching. You start to feel your real connection to everything around you. Not as an idea, but as something you actually experience. You are the universe experiencing itself. You are the song and the singer, the dance and the dancer. Not just as a metaphor, but for real. The search ends when you realize the seeker, and what is sought are the same. This doesn't mean all your problems disappear or that you float through life in perfect happiness. It means you stop adding extra suffering by fighting what happens. You stop treating life as a problem to fix and start living it as a mystery to enjoy. And in that shift from searching to finding, from becoming to being, from looking elsewhere to being here, there's a quiet joy that has nothing to do with your situation and everything to do with your true nature. A joy that was always there, just waiting for you to notice. It's kind of funny that we've spent all this time talking about stopping the search, which might sound like giving up or doing nothing. But it's actually the opposite. When you stop looking for life somewhere else, you can finally start living it right here. The search ends not with a big finish, but with a gentle realization. The realization that what you've been looking for has been here all along. Like the air you breathe, so close you never notice. And in that realization, there's no big ending, no final prize, no spiritual trophy to show off. There's just this moment complete in itself. This breath, this awareness, this life, exactly as it is. Maybe the biggest joke of all is that there's nowhere to go, because you're already home. If these words have touched something inside you, maybe it wasn't really new information, but a reminder of what you've always known, deep down, beneath all the noise and searching. Share this message if you feel like it. But remember, no one else can stop searching for you. No one else can see your completeness for you. That realization, when it comes, will be the most personal thing in the world, like finally seeing your own reflection in a mirror you've looked through your whole life. So, what does it really mean to stop searching? Zen teachings say that when you stop looking for something outside yourself, everything you need starts to show up right where you are. The whole point of spiritual searching is to realize you don't need to keep searching at all. But that's not as easy as it sounds. People are used to always wanting something, thinking about the future, remembering the past, chasing after what feels good or trying to avoid what feels bad. Even when you get what you want, there's a worry it might go away. Or maybe it doesn't feel as good as you hoped. And if you enjoy something once, you want to feel it again. So seeking always puts the thing you want somewhere else, not here. If here is all there is, then always looking somewhere else means you miss what's right in front of you. To stop seeking is to start living. Wanting, needing, and even arguing all have their place. But waking up and really enjoying life means slowing down the search and letting your mind pause more often. It's about relaxing and showing up for the present moment, instead of always reaching for something else. But here's a twist: even trying to stop seeking can turn into another kind of search. You might compare meditation techniques, chase after bigger and better experiences, or think you need to reach some special state. That's just another way of searching. Sometimes spirituality becomes all about making yourself feel better, when it's supposed to help you let go of yourself. The real goal is to stop identifying so much with your own thoughts and feelings and just be. Zen teachers say that when you stop trying to use your mind to fix your mind, you can finally see through its tricks. The mind can't grasp itself, just like a sword can't cut itself, or teeth can't bite themselves. The more you try to become enlightened, the further away it seems. The act of seeking is what keeps you from finding. So, what do Zen monks do? They talk about Zen as little as possible, going over ideas again and again, just keeps you stuck in your head, which is the very problem you're trying to solve. The real practice is to stop seeking, not just for enlightenment, but for anything, because the act of seeking comes from a part of you that feels dissatisfied. Zen meditation helps clear away the clouds of confusion, so your awareness can shine through. When you stop searching, you start paying attention. You become mindful, aware, present. You see things as they really are, without getting tricked by words or emotions. You stop being distracted from what's right here, your own consciousness, your own life. This process takes time, even though moments of insight can happen suddenly. Zen meditation, called Zazen, is about developing deep focus and being right here, right now. So what's the big lesson? When you stop looking for life somewhere else, you find it right where you are. The search ends not with a big finish, but with a gentle realization. What you've been seeking has always been here, like the air you breathe. There's no grand ending, no final prize, just this moment, complete in itself. If these words have touched something inside you, maybe it's not new information, but a reminder of what you've always known deep down. Share this message if you want, but remember, no one else can stop searching for you. Only you can recognize your own completeness. That moment, when it comes, will be the most personal thing in the world, like finally seeing your own reflection in a mirror you've looked through your whole life.